Alright, today I'm going to show you guys how to repair a iRobot M6 Braava Jet that does not spray. Now 99% of the time, the reason why it doesn't spray is because the hose that is like milked out by the pump is stuck together, and usually caused because of the improper cleaning chemical has been used in it. I've seen purple power, I've seen floor wax, I've seen pine sol. You don't want to use any of that stuff. What happens is the residue stays in the little silicone tube, and the way the pump works is it pinches the tube and pushes it along, kind of like, you know, if you're milking a cow. So it pinches it and then moves it down the hose, and I'll show you when it's opened up what I'm talking about. But what happens is the iRobot tries to back flush itself, like when it's turned off, but residue still stays in there. It doesn't get it all, and then where that stays pinched in the pump actually sticks together and like glues it shut, basically. So then it doesn't spray. The other 1% of the time, maybe the nozzle will be clogged, which you can pull the nozzle off. Maybe I'll do another video on that later, and soak it in like vinegar or alcohol or something, depending on what it is, or just even hot water, and then blow it out with compressed air, scrub it, and try and clear it out that way. But I'm going to show you how to do the pump, because I'm pretty sure that's what this is. I don't know yet. First things first, we'll flip the robot over, and we're going to remove these 5 screws that hold the pad in place. And these are shorter screws than all the other ones, so you'll know if you get them mixed up. All the short screws go with this plate. And what I usually do is I usually kind of just leave them in there, so then I know that that's where they go. So you just remove this, set this off the side, pull the battery out. Probably do that first. Set the battery off to the side. Alright, so now there's 2 screws here in these deeper holes, and there's 5 screws kind of in this triangle form. Then the only other 2 screws you have to remove are up here in these deeper areas. So let's do that. Let's remove all these. Okay, these are all out. Flip the bot back over. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to lift from the back here and pull. As you lift it, you're going to pull it back towards and flip this over. And be careful, because there's wires and stuff still connected to this. Alright, sorry about that. Compressor kicked on. Okay, so as you can see, this is all, I don't know, all these wires get epoxied in here and go underneath here to where like the basic motherboard is. Everything's like waterproofed and epoxy. It's very hard to replace anything in here without cutting the wires and just soldering new stuff back in, which I've done before. It's not a big deal if you're good with soldering. Anyway, so here's the pump right here. It's held in with 4 screws. There's 1, 2, 3, and then there's one down here deeper. Before we do that though, I'm going to pull off this orange tube. Just give it a little tug. I'm going to blow through this tube. Make sure that the nozzle's not clogged. And it's not. So we can just put this back on. So I know it's the pump now. Pull off these 4 screws. you should be able to move the pump out of here. Grab these screws and set them off to the side. Okay, so here's the pump. And what happens is this spins around. No water goes through an actual physical pump. It's just another piece of silicone tube here. And what happens is this turns, and this little roller basically, like, you know, like milks it out of there like a cow, I guess, cow's udder. So what happens is when it gets pinched in here and stays like that, it usually glues itself shut. And sometimes you can run this for 10-15 minutes and it'll pop itself loose, but most of the time it doesn't. So I'm going to pull this out, this middle screw out. This is a smaller screw than the ones that hold in the pump, and it's silver. And then I'm just going to pull this out, this roller, roll it off there. Now let me show you what's happened here. So here it is. You can see it's pinched on there. See how it's kinked almost and pinched? That's where the roller sat when this dried, and the chemical glued itself shut. So the way to fix this is pull that off, pull this off, and just pinch it the other way. And then I kind of just roll it in between my fingers, and you can see that it's not kinked anymore, not pinched anymore. Done. Sometimes there'll be a tiny little bit of residue in there, and I will in that case I'll pull the hose off, like down here and here, and blow it out so it doesn't go up into the nozzle and clog the nozzle or something in the future. But that one, I don't see anything in there. It looks fine, so I'm just going to leave it as is. So now here's the roller we're going to put back in, and you can see how this is. It can only go one way, and so I kind of just put this around the roller like that, and then I'll just kind of turn this until it locks in there the way it goes, and I'll just kind of just push it down, give it a couple turns, and you can see it was pinched here right where this roller probably sat. So put that back on, get our little screw for the middle of the pump. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of water in a cup. I'm going to, like, literally a cap full of water, and I'm just going to fill this up to the top. Then I'm going to take my powered screwdriver, and I'm going to put this through, and you can see that it's spraying out here now. So we know that it's fixed. Then we just got to put it back. This goes back in here. This hose goes in a little cavity down here. Same with this and this blue hose. Just gets routed like that. We can put the 4 screws back in. Make sure if you're using a powered screwdriver, I use this Dremel like this. Just like a plunge. You can use it with that, or you can plunge it. But I usually like to, I probably turn it a little bit lower. I usually have it down, here's max. I have it almost minimum, because it doesn't take a lot to blow one of these plastic threads out of the plastic. And you're not really, holding a lot down. You're just snugging it up. I can have one of these fixed in like 5 minutes if I'm not explaining and doing everything. Okay, so this is going to go back on. Make sure that this hasn't moved. Put the front in first. Drop the back in. We're going to just lift this up and make sure that this comes through with the gasket around it. After that, and it's in, flip this back over. Check and see if any screws fell out of your I usually just leave them in these deeper ones rather than trying to fish them out. And so anyway, see which ones that you need to put in. And then we will go and test this and make sure that it works again. There you go, fixed.